It is 6:25. We'll call the committee meeting of the Streets and Sanitation.
Okay, what I come is to kind of get a okay to buy a sweeper and maybe do the amendment later, because by the time we find one and it goes through everything, I've lost it. It's done sold. I've done this to 2 or 3 of them. I mean, before I can ever get the memo to go in front of the committee, it's sold. But I asked to just have a certain amount. I've got 200,000 in the budget for it. I think I can do it less than that. I've got samples of some of them, if y'all looked at them. I just kind of like to have the guidance to purchase one, kind of the, what y'all think of like what year to get. I mean, I've got different years. I've got a 08, I've got a 12, and I've got a 20. And to me, the 20s is the last one there. They look worse than the 12s and the 8s. So, as far as the pictures, but the company that has these, they do, they rent them out. And that is, I think, why they look worse. Most of them, the mileage is close to the same, around 25,000 miles. That's on every single one of them. I looked today and there was a 2017 that was lower mileage. It was like 18,000 miles, but it was 169,500. So, but I think I could get a 2014, 2015. As far as the, I guess, these machines are kind of, I asked some, they have not advanced in technology. They're kind of just the basic machine. And so they kind of stay the same. They've been around for a while. This brand has. Elgin is one of the top brands in sweepers, I think. And but it's been around. This style has been around for a long time. I've seen them back in the 90s. So, but I'm just asking for permission, more or less to just purchase it. And I'd like to have the guidance of Mr. Mean too, because I don't want to just do it all on my own. Because this will be a purchase unseen, because most of them is out 2 or 3 states over, and we'd have to have them brought in. You can't really find any around here close enough to go and look at them. So
I noticed they were like, from somebody that doesn't know a thing about street sweepers, it's totally different size and everything than what the last one we had.
yeah, the last one we had was on a truck body, and it was a regenerative air, and it just, I mean, it blew stuff. What it did, it blew air, and it circled and just more or less grabbed the garbage and picked it up. And what it did grab, it blew on out underneath the head of it. And it never did really pick up real good. Some days it would pick up real good and some days it wouldn't. But this here is a mechanical. It's actually got 2 brooms on the side that throws it towards the middle, and it's got one big broom in the middle that throws it up on a conveyor belt. Then it goes up the conveyor belt into the hopper. And pretty well anything that goes underneath it, it picks up. it don't pick up the real fine stuff. I have asked people about it, but it picks up most of it.
Is that 3.5 yards, is that a adequate?
Yeah,
Container.
they're usually a little bit more, but you can, what I've got in mind is this one, you can dump it in a dumpster. It raises up and dumps up to 9 foot. So we can bring a dump truck over wherever it's working at in that area. It only goes 25 miles an hour. That's max speed. So, wherever we're working at, we'll have to bring something over to dump it, because you won't be able to run back and forth across town to dump it. So, you can dump it in a dumpster or a dump truck or whatever. And that's my idea on it, is to have it to where, have a dumpster somewhere around where we're working.
What do we have budgeted, 200?
200.
I mean, I have no problem with it, as long as we can, if we can do that.
No, I don't think this is through Sourcewell.
That one bid is,
Oh, okay.
but it was, yeah, it's 130,000.
So we can get that through Sourcewell.
Well, that one company we can,
Yeah.
but the others is,
That would be the preferred route, I would assume.
that's really the highest ones.
It's got
And the worst, yeah, but it looks the worst.
Pardon?
If you look at it, it looks the worst. Look at the pictures on the back. I mean, it's done rusted, got rust all over it.
Where'd it come
I'm not for sure. The company's out of Michigan, I think. They're actually, well, they have a branch in Memphis, the company, because the gentleman comes here to,
So Sourcewell limits your options quite a bit, is what you're saying.
yeah. I mean, it's a used sweeper. I don't know how they got it on Sourcewell. I mean, that's my opinion, because I don't know how you get a used sweeper on Sourcewell. Because Sourcewell is mostly for new stuff.
So this will go to the full board, can we
So how would we do that?
recommend it now and then figure out between now and then?
Mr. Turtle, because typically when we have large purchases, just say Resolution 9A, it's, a very specific quote. And this is basically giving him leeway to purchase something not to exceed $200,000.
I want to get the answer.
Okay.
So, the purchasing policies we adopted recently have items J, I, and N, and I've included that in the packet. Sourcewell is an option, but similar to how we purchased the tractor last year for the Parks and Recreation Department, there are provisions for used equipment. There are provisions for used equipment from other municipalities to where we do not have to follow the normal purchasing guidelines. So if we reached out to another municipality such as the city of Franklin, they retire their equipment on very frequent schedules. We do not have to follow those purchasing guidelines because it is another governmental entity. This board could give approval to Frank in this capacity to purchase the equipment outside of the normal guidelines, and then he could come back to the board and go through the normal resolution just to solidify that. What that looks like, how we want to do it, I think is still up to us, that we still want to follow as much as our purchasing guidelines as we want to, which I would recommend, but we do have some exceptions to the rules recommended by our purchasing policy that is recommended by TCA code the comptroller's office and MTS. As we were amending that, they did recommend we put those things in there for these examples, because they are coming up more frequently. This equipment is very expensive, and they're seeing this across the board, just like we saw last year in Parks and Recreation. So the actual procedure, I think it's open to us. It's in some capacity. I do think there needs to be a resolution at some point in this process, because it is such a large, it is a capital asset.
But we don't have to have the resolution before. I mean, cause that's gonna take a while. I mean, this recommendation has to go to the board, and that's at least another 2 weeks.
Right. And that's the whole problem, and that's why there's an exception.
But then he doesn't even necessarily right now, I guess, have one to purchase. I mean, it's basically just asking,
Yeah,
That will reduce the time between
Yeah.
when he finds one and when
Yeah.
he can say, let's buy that one.
okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be helpful.
You could do that subject to, subject to board approval, conditions subsequent.
yeah, I mean, that's my biggest problem now.
Yeah,
Before I ever, they're going, I mean, I can get the 2008, it's been there for 2 months. But I would kinda like to get a newer one. I had my eye on a 2015, it's been gone. I've had a 2 or 3 2014s, they're gone.
yeah.
And I mean, they're just,
So
To me,
can
we have
this,
the $200,000 budgeted, to me, it
Yeah.
don't exceed $200,000.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, right now, I mean, I understand, well, I'll just ask the question. I mean, can this committee give him permission to make a purchase not to exceed $200,000 and then us come back later and pass a resolution for that?
Well, it would, in so many words, it would be subject to the conditions subsequent that the board approved.
Yeah.
Purchase. Sort of like buying an option. You have the option to buy it for $130,000 for X number of days.
Can we suspend the rules and vote on it tonight?
Interval.
Yeah.
Could you get approval or recommendation for approval from the Streets and Sanitation Committee to the board make their vote at the next meeting, which then would start Frank's timeline?
Could
So
we,
he's got approval through resolution to make the
is
purchase.
it urgent that we need this street sweeper?
it ain't urgent.
Say yes.
Well, yeah,
Don't put
I
that in the
mean-
newspaper.
it ain't,
But
I'll just tell you why I'm
we talked
like-
about this last year though
Yeah.
in budgets. We really
It ain't
did.
urgent, but go out and look at the street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
some
mean,
events
I
coming
don't,
up
So-
this fall.
I don't wanna take advantage of suspending rules regarding public notice if we don't necessarily have to.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I mean, I hate to put off, I mean, but I guess,
Well, it's not so much the time between now and the time it's approved, it's the fact that he's getting it, and there's gonna be another one 2 weeks from now if we vote on it in 2 weeks.
yeah,
It's just, at that point, when you'll be able to buy it, when you need it, I mean, when you find it,
yeah,
right then.
yeah.
So if
I
maybe
mean,
we
that's
don't
all I'm
need,
wanting is, I mean, if it's 2 weeks, that's fine with me.
yeah,
I don't have to have it tonight.
yeah,
But I mean, it's just hard, I just wanna have the approval to do it, where if I
Right.
find one, I can get it. I mean,
You might authorize him to locate the item at a price not to exceed a number, subject to the board approval.
And then come back with the actual resolution after the item is identified.
yeah.
And that would kind of give him the ability to,
Basically reserve it,
Purchase.
yeah, okay.
And Nolan and Sam and I can get together and maybe fashion something not too wordy for the committee to consider maybe at the next meeting.
we could dive into those TCA and see if there's any examples they could actually provide by way of board recommendation or resolution. Maybe MTS has an actual example that we could apply.
so we Need a recommendation tonight or not? No, okay.
Do we not?
I feel like we do. Unless I'm misunderstanding.
We need something from the committee tonight
To authorize.
to
him-
go to the next full board
Yeah, to
meeting
start
in 2
looking And
weeks.
then bring it to, yeah.
Yes, okay.
It's like I hear committee authorizes to buy but not to exceed budget amount. So we need to put on there for him to look instead of buy.
Well, it's back to that same thing. It's not that he's gonna find one between now and after it's approved, but then once it's approved,
Yeah.
then when you find it, you have the authority to get it right then, and you won't it won't sit there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you find one between now and then, it may still be there when you get approved, but if not, we just gotta wait till the next one comes along.
I think I would request that the recommendation, or recommendation be made to the full board to allow Frank to seek and identify a street sweeper up to $200,000, and proceed with the purchase when he finds one, and then come back after he finds one to get the resolution approved.
Yeah, subject to the board.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it.
I'm not saying it again.
Did you get that, Andrea?
I'm trying.
As long as she's got it. So not to exceed $200,000.
Yeah.
And when we come back, the next board meeting, you may have found one that day, and we can vote on it that night, and you'll have it. How's that?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Anything else before this?
That's it.
You gotta vote on it.
Oh, I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
All right, this committee meeting is adjourned.
Finance next. All right, we'll call the finance committee meeting to order, and we'll ask Samantha to come and talk about her request.
Womack Printing closed down, I think a little more than a year ago. They had been, up until that time, making special envelopes for us to return mail our property tax receipts for those who paid by check, by mail. We automatically returned mail, a receipt to those individuals or mortgage companies that had paid for those property owners. We are no longer able to get those receipts. We have searched high and low for someone who could make those those envelopes, and we cannot find them. So I reached out to Local Gov, our software company. They've reformatted our property tax receipts that will fit in a standard number 10 vendor envelope with a regular size window. And that's what they look like. So a part of this request is for authorization to go with this format. It just fold it, trifold, fits nice and neat. I've blocked out this person's information just because it was going out to everybody. So that's one part of the request, but the big part of this request is to stop auto mailing those receipts. And I ask that because the county doesn't do it automatically. I reached out to the clerk and master, Mara, and she does not do it automatically. Postage is just going up. It's quite expensive. Those envelopes are not cheap. And another part of this is that paper that we were using is perforated in half, and it's 3 cents a page, and regular copy paper is only less than a penny a page. So, just trying to save some operating costs downstairs. We would send out those receipts if requested, but property taxes are now online. They can go online, print them out at any time. If they come in and pay, we would gladly print them out a receipt. If they're paying by mail, they're probably paying by check. Well, they're always paying by check. They're not going to pay by cash, but their clear check to their bank would serve as receipt as well. So I just request that we make that for this upcoming tax year.
Is there anything they need that receipt for other than, I mean, does anybody else need to see that along the way to prove anything else, or is?
We get a lot of requests around tax time. They like to have that for their taxes, for any, I don't know, that's some of the requests we get, but, they usually come in and we print them off another copy anyways, cause it gets lost throughout the year.
Okay.
But with it being online, our requests last year went down significantly because they can just go to our website and pull it up and show it to whoever they need to show it to or print it out. Again, we would gladly print that off or even mail it to them if they called up and said, hey, I'd like to have that. We could drop it in a regular envelope for them. The county, I think, requires that you send in a posted envelope. I don't think we would go that far. We would just send it back to them if they wrote in and requested it. Next year, when we get our tax bills are gonna have to be printed by someone other than the state, we could put that on the actual tax bill, but I think Andrea said that we're not able to add that line to.
You don't
the
have
tax bill
enough
this
font
year.
space to put that on there. That's the reason we haven't done it for the last 3 years, so.
I love paper copies.
I do too.
I mean, you can still get it, it's just not automatically mailed, correct? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta ask for it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time spent folding paper and stuffing envelopes. But, again, it's a twofold request. One is to change the format, to save that 3 cents per page down to 1 cent per page. And then the second part of that is the auto return mail. So I get it's a big change. But
Do you have an idea of what it would cost to send out the new version to everybody versus doing what you're wanting to do?
Definitely less than a third because of just the straight up 3 cents per page down to 1 cent per page.
Right, but I mean, like,
I don't know how many we actually return mail. I know it went down quite a bit last year because of the online payment option.
Your biggest problem is your mortgage companies. Because the mortgage companies, when they pay them, they don't send them a receipt. So the taxpayer will call us for a receipt. That's your biggest option with all this.
what you're gonna have to do anyway. Either way, right?
So whenever like access title, whenever they pay hundreds of properties at one time on one large payment. They get a copy of that receipt.
Not the homeowner.
The taxpayers usually call and then we
Right.
do that. But not all
So
of
what,
them will get a copy,
even if you send them out to everybody, those people wouldn't get one anyway.
not unless
Right.
requested. But now they can go online. Lots of phone calls during that time, a little bit of confusion. Sometimes the wrong property isn't on that file and we have to call the title company and things like that, but we usually get it worked out. In the end, it's just a little bit of,
Try it for a year.
Yeah, we can try it. So I'll make a motion that, do we have to do that separately or do both of those changes? The format and then the receipt changes?
You can just do them together.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
At least I'm not gonna be doing a quarterly file.
If nothing else has come before the Finance Committee, this meeting's adjourned.
Great.
We will now call the Water and Wastewater Committee meeting to order.
Back, 1st of August, we bid another single axle dump truck, and the bidder that actually, the low bidder that met the specifications was Lee Smith Ford from Chattanooga at $112,350. This is a 2025 F-750 dump truck, auto body, very similar to the last one we bought, so just like to get permission to
So this is just a recommendation to go before the full board.
And it is in the budget.
It is in budget.
Okay. I'll make the motion to send this to the full board.
And I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is that all, Ricky?
That's it.
Thank you. Nothing else for the Water and Wastewater Committee. We will call this meeting adjourned.
You wanna do it?
We'll now call the Safety Committee meeting to order.
First thing I want to say that we got a little typo. It's showing that 2014 was supposed to be 2024. So, you
But
know,
on the-
The truck that we already have.
No, the truck that we're gonna get, y'all
Okay.
voted last time on.
On
Yeah, they're
their
2024.
quote, they put 14.
Somebody put, yeah, we put it.
The Cherokee quote had 14 on it.
Right.
And
Oh,
it should
did
be
it?
24, yeah.
Uh,
I'll call Marty back. He owns the
Okay,
quote.
well, okay, I'm gonna see different keys in it, but we sent out bids and went and got one back, and, it from 2430 from Cherokee, from Chattanooga, and, so I want to recommend y'all go ahead and, we got the money in the budget with the truck to buy the bed,
So
bed too.
the truck and the bed combined are under
Under
budget.
the, yeah, right. But the thing is, it's gonna be 24 to 28 weeks before we get the bed,
Yeah,
so.
okay. You don't have to go.
How much is it?
430 over. It's 20,000.
Yeah, technically it will.
Will.
I'll make a motion to recommend this purchase to the full board.
I second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you. Is there any more business before the safety committee? If not, we'll call this meeting adjourned. We'll now call the Parks and Recreation Committee meeting to order.
Thank you, good evening. So, we had the bids go out for the fitness equipment for the wellness center. We had five bids that came in. FitWorks at $52,605. We had Direct Fitness Solutions at $67,490. Matrix, which was Ready Fitness at $69,128.92. And then Direct Fitness also did a combo series at $72,660, and then we had Hammer Strength at $90,980. So we budgeted $68,500 for the fitness equipment. We also had the $20,000 for the cable crossover. After reviewing the equipment and looking at comparing apples to apples, myself and Katie and Michael agreed that we liked the Precor, which was the $72,660 combo series. And what that option gave us was the ability to they have a Resolute series and a Vitality series. And it was that we were able to kind of mix that, but also meet the demand of what we wanted in the fitness facility. We have 12 Cybex machines in there with the cable crossover right now. And those, this allows us to have a combo on some of those, so you can do a decline, an incline, and a flat bench on a weighted machine all at one time. We also looked at functionality and what we had for our clientele, what comes in. A lot of these machines offer independent usage versus a fixed usage. So you were able to work your right side, left side independently, as well as change positions while you're on the machine. We currently have machines that you have to get off of the machine, change your settings. You could actually stay on the machine and do that. So the Precor series is a series that we are familiar with. It's been around for a long time. Again, this does come in under budget. With, if we combine the $68,500 with the $20,000, that's $88,500. We come in at $72,660. This is a great line, and that's what we would like to recommend to you all for approval.
So none of these other have the cable crossover amount in them?
They do.
Oh, they all do?
They do. We
Okay.
asked for a 5-station. They call it a 5-station multi-station. We were specific in what we wanted, as far as what we wanted on that 5-station. And so, I believe there was one that could not offer us what we wanted on the 5-station, which was Ready Fitness, the Matrix. But this, you can see the setup. We asked for all of them to kind of give us a layout of what it would look like in our fitness center, with the floor plan that we have currently.
What do you not like about the low bid?
So the low bid for me, I just don't know enough about the TKO brand. I'm not speaking badly about it. I have worked out on Precor. I have worked out on Matrix personally. I've worked out on Hammerstring. I just don't know enough about TKO. But when we looked at the frames, we looked at the options, we looked at the functionality of it, Precor, all three of us unanimously said that that was what we would like to see in the fitness center. And again, I feel like with the combo series and the options that we have with that, it would meet the demand of our members.
Is there any place we can see the TKO anywhere around?
I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody.
Yeah,
So,
I don't either.
you know, we currently have Cybex. It's 20 years old. It's a dinosaur, but it's been great. We've done some upgrades to the frames, painted them, upgraded the upholstery, upgraded the Kevlar belts, the pulleys, but you know, this is a new era. This is new stuff, and it's fancy. So.
So our budget, what we have budgeted is 68.5 for the equipment and the 20 for the cable crossover. This 72 is all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we were under what we have budgeted.
That's correct.
And all of them have that in there, the cable crossover,
They do.
in their price.
They do. Yes, ma'am.
And that company's giving you a $5,000 trade-in.
They are. And one thing I liked about, I'll mention this, one thing I liked about Ready Fitness and Direct Fitness, they offered us 3 years parts and labor. All of the machines have a 10-year on the frame, like a 5-year on the upholstery, 1 year on the belts, pulleys, things like that. But Ready Fitness, which was Matrix, the 69128, and Direct Fitness, the 72660, offered us a 3-year parts and labor, which I felt was nice.
52 is so much lower than the 72. Just based on the fact that we don't know anything about that equipment.
Correct.
But given that, we're taking the best bid, not necessarily the lowest bid.
That's correct.
Yeah, we usually take the lowest.
What do we think? We don't know about TKO.
Yeah, it's not that it's not good equipment, we just don't have information on it. I've never thought to look. But this goes before the full board as well, correct? So we would have time to actually look into this for the difference in the amounts. Based on that, I would recommend that we look at the bid for just Direct Fitness Solutions, but I would like to, in the meantime, look into the FitWorks, the lowest amount bid.
So do we have a motion to take this before the full board?
Yes.
A second?
I'm not on it.
Well, you're not on it,
It's
Stacy.
usual.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. So take that before the full board.
Thank you.
Anything else from you, Justin?
That's it. Oh,
Now, Joe Harvey.
How's it going, guys?
Hi, Joe.
Well, which one we gonna start with?
Steve Rogers.
Oh, well, we're gonna start with, it's the gambler himself. There's a group able to refer to themselves as the Kenny Rogers Band. They reached out to us. They are a group of touring musicians who toured with Kenny Rogers over the years, and they were given permission by him before he passed, and then by his estate to continue touring under that name. They have some media and some stage shows that are stage pieces that go along with the show. But one of the greatest selling country music songwriters of all time, or singers of all time, we thought it was a really great group to bring to the Park Theater, since we can't bring the Gambler himself here anymore, since he passed a few years ago. Y'all see the price. We got $8,500 as a guarantee with a possibility of a $1,500 bonus. Break even on it is around the 230 sales, so that's long before we pay the bonus. But PTAB loved it. I think it's going to be a great show. They're fronted by Don Gatlin, who is cousins to the Gatlin brothers, who tour regularly. But I think it's we could get a Kenny Rogers tribute band in here, but this one is as close to the real deal as you can get. So I think it's going to be a great show, and that's my suggestion. I'll vote on that one, and then I'll do the other one.
I think we have to, don't we have to do them one at a
Yeah, I
time?
think you got to do it separate.
I make a motion that we have hire the Kenny Rogers Band for the Park Theater on November the 1st.
No, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Motion carries. And now, item C, recommendation to hire Daryl Worley.
Yeah, we had Daryl Worley actually reached out to us on this. It was someone who was kind of in our sights, somebody we had thought about having before, because we knew he still toured. I'll date myself a little bit. I remember playing lots of his music when I was working at Hot Country 104 back in the day. Yeah, it'll be an acoustic trio show. He's touring around a lot right now, but we were able to nail him down for this November 23rd date, I believe. I feel like it's a solid show. We just had something kind of similar with Dina Carter on Saturday. Great crowd. Felt very youthful in the Park Theater compared to some shows that we have there. So we'd love to kind of recreate that. And like I said, like I always try to entertain everybody in our community. So but we think that's another great show, and we think it's at a fair price. And PTAD loved it.
I'll make a motion that we recommend to hire Daryl Worley for the Park Theater on November 23rd.
I'll second that motion. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much, guys. Next week, we got Disco Inferno coming. Great jukebox musical being put on by Warren Arts. They're down there rehearsing it right now. It's going to be a great show, so if you can come out, come out. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Joe. There's no other business for the Parks and Rec Committee meeting. This committee meeting will be adjourned.
It is 7:03. We will call to order this regularly scheduled meeting of the Millville City Board of Mayor and Aldermen. The first item on the agenda is roll call.
Sally Brock is absent. Deidre Dunlap.
Present.
Stacy Harvey's absent. Steve Harvey.
Here.
Rachel Kirby.
Present.
Carrie Morton.
Here.
Mayor Chastain.
Present. Next item on the agenda is consideration of minutes. Each member of the board should have received those in their agenda packets. If there are no requests for additions, corrections, or deletions, I'll entertain a motion to dispense with their reading and approve them as read.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Deidre Dunlap.
Second.
Second by Ms. Rachel Kirby. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 3 is recognition of visitors. If anyone wishes to address the board, step to the podium, state your name for the record. Hearing none, item 4 is recognition of employees. We have several department heads here this evening. If anyone wishes to give a recognition, please come on up.
I think a lot of you know where I'm headed with this, but one of our own, Linda McGee, passed away very suddenly last Wednesday, August the 7th. She was a beloved employee of the City of Millville Water Department for the past 8 years, and we want to recognize her service and dedication to the city tonight by remembering and honoring her. To know Linda was to know that she loved all things Halloween, Universal Studios, and rescuing animals. To say she loved the animals just doesn't do it justice. She kept pet food down in her desk for random strays that wandered around downtown. She would bring them in until she found their owners or a new home, and I think a lot of times that new home was her home. But while discussing the ways we could honor Linda, we thought downstairs that it was the most fitting to collect pet supplies, toys, treats, and things like that to support local animal rescues and shelters and things. So we are accepting those donations and things downstairs in her memory. But our hearts go out to her family and friends. Jeff, Brandon, Emily, and Daniel, our thoughts and prayers are with you all. She will be truly missed as a peer and a coworker, but mostly as a friend with a very contagious laugh. We were blessed to have had her in our lives, and the city is better for having had her on our team. I hope you'll join me in continued prayers for her loved ones during these very tough days. Thank you.
Thank you all. Item 5 is communications. Item 5A is a letter of recommendation from Mark Ezell, Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development, or the TDTD. This letter can be found here on the bench and is addressed to us as a board, basically giving his full support for our changes that are going to be discussed about the future of the Tourism Development Board. Basically, he goes on to say that a full-time tourism and marketing manager for the city would provide us with several advantages: dedicated leadership in this regard, enhanced marketing efforts, improved coordination and collaboration among interested parties, focus on resource allocation, and then data-driven decision-making. So Nolan and I were on a conference call last week with him and Ashley DeRossett, again, who both voiced their full support with this and state that they will put the full weight of their office behind us in supporting this and helping us in any way that we need. So that is for us to consider as we go into the resolutions and ordinances later on about that body. There was a letter that came in after the agenda packets went out. It is from Blaine Wilcher. He is asking for the city's permission to host a cruise-in at the farmers market to raise funds for the Warren County Animal Shelter and Adoption Center. And it will be on October the 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Justin, has he gotten with you about that?
He has not, but I can check that date and contact him.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, he told me he was gonna contact you, so I guess we can approve this contingent upon his communication with Justin. So I'll entertain a motion to approve his letter.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Kirby.
Second.
Second by Mr. Harvey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Item 6 is petitions. There are none. Item 7 is unfinished business. Item 7A is resolution number 2024-26 to accept the proposal from Design Services related to the lot on the southeast corner of Court Square by CT Consultants for the amount of $28,500 and to set the date for this resolution to become effective. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Steve Harvey,
Second.
second by Ms. Carrie Morton. Nolan, did you have any update or?
Yeah, so I just wanted to get this back in front of you. If we're absorbing the Tourism Development Board into the city as an organization, there's really no need to wait on this. CT can get started as soon as you all approve it, and the first invoice won't be due until sometime in the winter or on the holidays. We've got it budgeted in our general fund for $50,000 right now, and after we absorb the Tourism Development Board into the city, we'll have to to amend our budget, and at that time, we can allocate this amount to either the general fund or to the tourism and marketing department. So I just wanted to see if you all were willing to proceed, given that information.
Okay. Any questions, concerns, comments, discussion?
Will there be any more discussion with them or from all of us before they start the preliminary?
There will be a whole bunch of interaction with CT consultants and between CT consultants and the public as well, as they come up with the design. So there will be a lot of public input in this process.
Anything else? We have a motion and a second. We'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby.
Yes.
Carrie Morton.
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion passes. Any other unfinished business to come before the board? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 8, new business. There is none listed. Does any member of the board have any new business this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 9, resolutions. Item 9A is resolution number 2024-27 to accept a Sourcewell quote for $99,715, which includes shipping for a KM-T2 4-ton per hour asphalt recycler from Craftco for the McMinnville Water and Wastewater Department. Authorize city administrator to issue the necessary purchase order on behalf of the city and to express the time when the resolution becomes effective. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Carrie Morton,
Second.
second by Ms. Deidre Dunlap. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby.
Yes.
Carrie Morton.
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 9B is resolution number 2024-28 to accept a quote for Celebrate Systems for $30,269 for the City of McMinnville Police Department, authorizing the city administrator to issue the necessary purchase order on behalf of the city and to express the time when the resolution becomes effective. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Steve Harvey,
Second.
second by Ms. Carrie Morton. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby.
Yes.
Carrie Morton.
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion passes. Item 9C, this was not in the original agenda packet, but this is for resolution number 2024-29 to accept the statewide contract for 3 police interceptor vehicles and the total amount of $136,116 from Port of Murfreesboro for the McMinnville City Police Department, allowing the city administrator to issue the necessary purchase order on behalf of the city and to express the time when the resolution becomes effective. I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Deidre Dunlap,
Second.
second by Ms. Carrie Morton. Any questions or discussion?
I'm confused. What's D?
That was a Dodge Durango that Chief said was gonna be an administrative vehicle,
I'm sorry, this is.
separate.
All right.
You good?
Yep.
We have a motion and a second. We'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby.
Yes.
Carrie Morton.
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion passes. Item 9D is resolution number 2024-30 to purchase a 2025 Dodge Durango from a statewide contract with the City of McMinnville Police Department in the amount of $41,669.25. To authorize the city administrator of the city to issue necessary purchase order on behalf of the city and to express the time when the resolution becomes effective. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Carrie Morton,
Second.
second by Ms. Deidre Dunlap. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby.
Yes.
Carrie Morton.
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion passes. Item 9E is resolution number 2024-31 to authorize the city of McMinnville to accept a bid from Tinsley Asphalt for the renovation of 2 tennis courts in a total amount of $118,489 for for the McMinnville Parks and Rec Department, and authorize the city administrator to issue the purchase order on behalf of the city and to express the time when the resolution becomes effective. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Kirby,
Second.
second by Ms. Deidre Dunlap. Any questions or discussion?
So this is not the pickleball court?
No.
And this is under the budget too,
I'm
wasn't
trying
it?
to find those bids on here. Well, how much was their bid for it also?
Justin, do you happen to have those numbers?
And then the school pay.
What was the question?
The bids on the 2 tennis courts?
Yes.
Pickleball court also.
That
We
was
ended up receiving 3 bids. One from Tinsley, one from Kane Industrial, and one from Champion Court Construction. Just to do the 2 tennis courts and the surfacing, Kane Industrial was $158,899. Tinsley was $118,489, and Champion Court Construction was $141,225.
The pickleball courts was a concept where the volleyball court
Right.
was now,
Correct.
but we opted not to do that right now, but that we would circle back around to it after the completion
So-
of this project.
Correct. So the fence bids are, we have a mandatory site visit tomorrow on the fence. The fence bids are due on the 20th. I was wanted to have them on the 27th, so we could get a full picture of what that total cost would be for the 2 courts, the surfacing and the fence, and then potentially discuss 1 pickleball court, 3 pickleball courts, or nothing.
Weren't there numbers on the pickleball court?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we did. We had those. We had just for, each, I had them all bid them out separately. Let's see here. So just to do, 1 pickleball court by Tinsley Asphalt, it was, $39,706. Champion Court was $41,940, and then, Kane Industrial was $110,962.
For one?
Yes. Yep. To do 3 courts, they all were very comparable, but that single court was way off.
How much was their 3 court?
There are 3 courts, Kane Industrial was $119,476, Tinsley was $81,577, and Champion Court Construction was $82,225.
So they do 1 court for 100 and 3 courts for 119? Wow.
All right.
So we haven't demoed the volleyball, have we
Oh,
demoed
it's
it
demoed,
too?
yes, I had actually sent some images to Mr. Mink today. We had to drive across the volleyball court
Right.
to get to it. It's all demoed. It's now ready for asphalt. So we've got it down our 9 inches, we've compacted it, we're ready for Tinsley to come in once approval is set, they can come in and start pouring asphalt.
And we'll just leave for now, the volleyball court and
We'll leave it untouched unless we decide to do something there with it or sod it. And we remember we received, the county, or the school board had approved $75,000 to help us with the courts.
right.
Yep.
How much do we have budgeted for all of it?
Beg pardon?
We're-
We had 175,000 was what we had budgeted for the tennis courts.
So there is a possibility of having some money
Absolutely.
left to
Yes.
do some of the pickleball
That
courts.
is correct, yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
What's gonna be their time frame on paving, you think?
Immediately, Tinsley's ready to go, so immediately upon approval, I will be able to call them and they're gonna come in, the asphalt will be poured, it has to cure for 30 days before it can be painted. But I'm hoping to get the fence bids in and get that completed so I can get that core drilled, we can put the fence up, then paint.
But if we do pickleball, I mean, if they're gonna pave that quick, we're not gonna know about the so they won't be able to do it all together.
It won't, and I will say this, if we decide.
Their price is not gonna be the
I've talked to
same.
Tinsley, we won't get pickleball courts this cheap if we have to go back out again, so.
How long are those bids good for?
70 days was Tinsley upon delivery. 70 days.
So is my math right if we do tennis courts and 3 pickleball courts and get and the fence and get the money from the county, aren't we still under budget?
We are.
Why don't we just go ahead and do this?
We are. We are.
And they would all three be right there, the pickleball courts would all be three?
I had stacked them side by side. We were gonna build a retaining wall in-house. I had talked to Sean about that. We would have to make sure we get the proper drainage on that, but we were gonna build a retaining wall, because we'll have to bring those courts up to level. It falls off so fast right there by the walk going up, so, yeah.
Council, could we amend this resolution to include pickleball courts, or would that need to go back to committee and then to the board again?
And we're talking about $70,000.
Yeah.
It's 225.
Well,
That's
it would need a resolution.
what you mean.
But could we not amend what we have here? Or will we have to go back and come back again?
How many days are we into the 70
Yeah.
days?
Well, we haven't awarded anything to anybody
Oh,
yet,
so it'll be 70
Oh.
days.
It'll be
from
70
right
days
now.
from when I award Tinsley.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we'll have time.
Oh,
We'll
We'll have
have
time.
plenty of time.
yeah,
We'll
we'll
have
just
plenty
do
of time.
this and come back later.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of time.
Okay, good.
Well, but if you award it to them, they can go ahead and start any time, right?
They
That's
could,
what you're
we're
saying.
prepped and ready to go.
Yeah, but
On
if-
the second reading,
We're
we'll be
saying
ready.
we'll get a,
If we approve it like it's written now, and you tell them to go ahead, they could start next week. I mean, potentially.
And I can do a resolution.
We have one more reading, right? So we'll have to go to the 27th.
No, it's
No.
resolution.
It's just resolution, you're right,
Yeah.
sorry, you're right.
I can do the resolution for the pickleball courts on the next meeting.
Well, that,
No,
what,
we do.
I mean, is it feasible that they would start that soon?
He's just waiting on me to give him a phone call.
well, and.
So we could potentially be in a, I'm sorry.
No, you go.
We could potentially be in a situation where they're paving and we don't have approval for the pickleball court, and they pull off, and
But
then
it's
we
still,
gotta start
but isn't
over.
it good for 70 days?
It is, it's delivery, he's put on here delivery 70 day, so.
Okay, now I've suddenly got confused. So, if the 70-day clock doesn't start to run till we approve it, do we gonna get a cheaper price if we do the whole thing?
Absolutely,
I'm sure this
So-
price for the pickleball courts is assuming that they do it all together.
absolutely.
Not that they're gonna.
It is, I mean, that's why I had them bid it out separately, I kinda wanted to know what it was gonna cost, but I do know for a fact if
Yeah.
I have to bring them back, if we don't do them and I bring them back, it's gonna cost us a lot more.
And that's mobilization, that's a,
Right.
that's
That's
a
right.
day's work,
Yeah.
just getting there.
So we need to do it all right now.
I'd love to do it all right now, I'm just saying it's,
I think you're talking about a significant savings, even though you're exceeding your original consideration. This is the first consideration of this issue tonight, isn't it?
No, it came from the committee, but now it's here at the board for the resolution,
Yeah.
one reading.
I'm not gonna have heartburn over it. If you're still talking about bringing the whole project in under budget, right?
Yeah.
And we have a firm commitment from the county.
yes.
Oh, I need to amend it.
What's the math on that?
Yeah, so we would be looking at, the 118,489 plus 81,577,
The total's 225.
yeah.
And then that's minus the 75. No?
You put the budget was 175 and we added 75 from the county is 225.
It's saves interest on it.
So it's gonna be under.
250.
250, yeah, 250. So you're under.
So you're still, well, that's what I'm asking. We're still under no matter what.
The resolution should be the 118 plus the 81,577. That's what we're amending.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Say that, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
We're amending the resolution tonight, it should be the 118,489 plus the 81,577. Disregard the 75 and the fencing and all that.
Yeah, again, this does not include any fencing, but I will know that by the 20th, on the fence, what those numbers look like, to fence the tennis court, and then, of course, if we have to have, which we would add fencing to the pickleball courts, we're only gonna do a 6-foot versus a 10-foot fence.
Should say
I will
118.
know
What
those
was
numbers
8155?
by the 20th.
81,577. 81,577.
Again, back, I take you back to 2018, We pay almost 16,000, defense courts 3 and 4, $16,000. That's a 10-foot chain link, color green coated fence. I guessed high, went said 30,000 to do it today. I don't know that. I'm going really high. I'm doubling it. Hopefully it's gonna come in way under that, but I'm saying 30.
So at that number, are we still over budget?
Yes, I believe so.
My
Whether-
cell phone said I don't have it.
I don't have my calculator, I'm sorry. We're talking 118 plus the 81,577.
So
Yeah,
250.
30,000 of that.
That's roughly 250.
155, we're looking at 155,066 with the fencing and the 75 from the county. How much did you have budgeted?
175.
So yeah, you're 20,000 under budget all in right now. We're just
And that's
75.
figuring like 30 grand on the fence.
That's figuring high on the fence.
But we still gotta do the pickleball fence.
We would, we
So,
would. But
still-
we're not fencing the entire thing. We're gonna do around the
I
edge.
think we're safe.
Yeah, for safety.
That's gonna be some for retaining wall.
Yep. And I've already got the price on it, which is about $5,000. That's doing it in-house.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the original resolution. So if it's the wishes of the board, I'll entertain a motion to amend resolution 2024-31 to include $81,577 for the construction of 3, am I right, Justin, pickleball courts?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion.
Have a motion from Ms.
Second.
Deidre Dunlap, a second, a quick second by Ms. Rachel
Sorry,
Curry.
I'm excited.
So right now, we're voting on the amendment. Motion and a second, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey.
Yes.
Rachel Kirby,
Yes.
Carrie Morton,
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you all.
That's exciting. All right, item 9F is resolution number 2024-32 to rescind resolution number 1997, which created the McMinnville Tourism Development Authority, and to express the time when this resolution becomes effective. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Carrie Morton,
Second.
second by Ms. Rachel Kirby. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby,
Yes.
Carrie Morton.
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion passes. Item 9G is resolution number 2024-33 to adopt the McMinnville Tourism Advisory Committee Charter. Make it part of this resolution by referencing Exhibit A and to express the time when the resolution becomes effective. Ellen, is there any way that you could bring that up on the screen? What that, tourism advisory, wait, this is just for the committee though, not the advisory board. Okay, Kurt, yeah, never mind.
This is a charter.
Yeah. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Steve Harvey,
Second.
second by Ms. Carrie Morton.
So you were saying committee versus,
So there will be two. There will be a three-person committee, just like streets, sanitation, parks and rec, et cetera. And then there will be a tourism advisory board, or however you want to phrase it, that is just like the Park Theater Advisory Board that will include these individuals here. 13 voting members and then 3 ex officio.
And that was recommended by TDP as the proper makeup of an advisory board for tourism.
do we, I mean, it seems so specific in each member that, I mean, we're gonna have trouble filling those spots. I mean, it's like every single member has gotta be this,
I think they
Thing.
picked those because those are entities that would be interested in tourism.
yeah, I agree with that. I just wonder if it's gonna be like, you know, some of those things, there's only, I don't know, I mean,
It could be, that's a good point, but
Local historian or library manager, I mean, there's not many of those.
yeah.
So it would fall under just like all of our other departments that we have. You'll have, the director, and then how many
It'll be a single employee. in
a
that
single
department.
employee. Okay, where will their office live?
Here at City Hall.
Okay, here, so we have space available for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's actually on down in the agenda. This is the advisory committee that we're talking about now.
Okay. I'm ahead, sorry.
Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby,
Yes.
Carrie Morton,
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion passes. Item 10 is ordinances. Item 10A, ordinance number 2024-09 of the city of McMinnville to change the zoning classification of a property located on Rosewood, I guess that's drive or lane, from R1 low density residential to R6 smart growth, and to express the time when this ordinance becomes effective. This is the second and final reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Carrie Morton,
Second.
second by Mr. Steve Harvey. Any questions, comments?
Refresh us on this.
It's the one that we looked at.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right.
It's that one. And they're gonna do.
Basically getting 2 lots there.
Yes, 2 lots.
Any questions or other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby,
Yes.
Carrie Morton,
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion passes. Item 10B is ordinance number 2024-10 to rescind ordinance number 1763, which established the McMinnville Tourism Development Authority and its adopted bylaws, and to express the date the ordinance shall become effective. This is the first reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a motion by Ms. Deidre Dunlap,
Second.
second by Ms. Carrie Morton. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby,
Yes.
Carrie Morton,
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion passes. Item 10C is ordinance number 2024-11 to create a tourism and marketing department by amending the municipal code to add Title 21, Chapters 1 through 4 in the form of the attached Exhibit A, and to express the time when the ordinance shall become effective. This is the first reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A motion by Ms. Carrie Morton,
Second.
second by Mr. Steve Harvey. So, you all can have that pulled up, but this is how it'll be amended to include basically the manager's job description, the establishment of that department, the composition, et cetera. Any questions or discussion? Did we get a motion in a second? on that?
Yeah, Carrie and Steve.
There is no discussion about item 10D. 10C, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby.
Yes.
Carrie Morton.
Yes.
Mayor Chair Stain.
Aye, motion passes. Item 10D, ordinance number 2024-12 is to amend ordinance number 1764 to direct all money collected by the occupancy hotel motel tax to be paid to the Tourism and Marketing Development Board monthly as collected by the city of McMinnville, and to express the time when this ordinance shall become effective. This is the first reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Steve Harvey,
Second.
second by Ms. Rachel Kirby. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby.
Yes.
Carrie Morton.
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion passes. Item 10E is ordinance number 2024-13 to create a tourism and marketing committee by amending the municipal code, section 1-117, in the form attached to this ordinance as Exhibit A, and to express the time when this ordinance shall become effective. This is the first reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Carrie Morton,
Second.
second by Ms. Deidre Dunlap. This is amending the municipal code to include that three-member committee, such as the ones that we already operate with. Are there any questions or discussions? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Deidre Dunlap,
Aye.
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
Rachel Kirby.
Yes.
Carrie Morton.
Yes.
Mayor Chastain.
Aye, motion
And
passes.
then we'll have 7 committees.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do, draw straws or something?
I'll
Messes everything up.
I'll dole them out like all the other ones. Volunteer y'all to be on it.
Somebody got to be on more committees than somebody else.
Yeah. Item 11 is departmental reports. We have several department heads here this evening. If anyone wishes to address the board, come on up.
Just have a few things. First, Master Patrol Officer Marty Cantrell, he retired from this, last Friday was his last day after 32 years, so we'll miss him and all the work he's done and his service to the city. He refused any kind of, going away party or anything, but he did let us take him to lunch, that's about all, but he said he'd come visit us Christmas. Another thing we have, I just want to remind people that, the Citizens Police Academy, we are accepting applications right now online or up at the office. And it's September the 19th through the 24th, it's on Thursday evenings for 2.5 hours. And last week, I attended the 54th Annual Tennessee Association Chief of Police Annual Conference. And from there, I'll be serving a second term as, on the board as Director of District 6, which represents Warren, Coffee, Grundy, Franklin, Marion, Sequatchie, Bender, and White County. So I'm honored to continue that role with the association. We had some really good training last week as well. And last but not least, this was on August the 1st, and I want to give my appreciation to Chief Mayfield on our ball game where we redeemed ourselves and we now have our gold bat back in our cabinet where it belongs. It was really fun. So, that's all I have.
Thanks, Chief. Mr. Ming, do you have anything?
No.
Mr. Purtle? All right, if there's nothing else to come before the board, we'll stand adjourned. Thank you all.